Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Net. What is The Net? It is a podcast. It's a gathering place, a network of all things social media. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm here with Ollie, per usual, and I'm Brad.
Per usual.
And today we are talking about three things. The first is going to be an update in LinkedIn profiles about what they are calling career breaks. What are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about TikTok.
Tiki-taki?
Tiki-taki. I'm no Instagram this episode.
I'm impressed.
So.
And then lastly, I'm actually going to talk about a different podcast.
Nice.
I'm going to refer you to a different podcast about some advertising stuff.
Cool.
Because I can't take full credit for it if they did it better. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're gonna direct people there, and just help you out there.
Perfect.
So let's dive in. First thing we're going to talk about today is LinkedIn profiles. They are rolling out something new called career breaks.
Ooh, what's a career break?
So a career break, you know how, like, let's say you have a job, and then you take some time off to do something productive for your life. That could be anything.
Like laundry?
Yeah, for every day. My laundry's huge. It takes 3 months.
Okay. I mean, maybe.
No, I'm talking about like if you become a stay-at-home parent, or
sure.
if you go back to school,
Yeah.
or things like
You
doing
buy a
something
van
abroad.
and drive around.
Travel the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it allows you to identify a break of time where you had a position and then you didn't have one and then you had another one.
Nice.
And you can highlight it with positive things instead
that's
of
cool.
people saying like, oh, wow, they weren't employed for 2 years.
Yeah, they didn't want to talk about that job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it allows them to identify career breaks, and they're going to be rolling that out with profiles. And I think that's a really good move because it allows people, especially, I mean, think about coming out of COVID.
Right.
How many people, and it affected women more than men.
Yeah.
But how many women had to become stay-at-home moms with schools shutting down and having to do homeschooling, all that kind of thing, where they had to step away from the work.
Yeah.
From the work world.
Yeah.
And then now that COVID is...
They're like, back in school,
Yeah.
I'm going to work.
Yeah, I'm going back to work.
Yeah.
But now I have this gap in my resume.
Explain
right?
it.
So I think it's a good move. And be on the lookout. If you took some time off from work, even like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you can go back in and add a career break section in your profile.
That's cool.
What do you have for us, Holly?
So, Tiki-taki.
Tiki.
That is not the official app name.
It's actually called TikTok.
It's TikTok, but I like Tiki-taki. It's fun. Tiki-taki 10. It sounds...
Oh, that is good.
That's a...
What does the 10 stand for?
It's 10 minutes.
On TikTok.
On TikTok. Can you imagine?
No.
I mean, it is a thing.
So I want to see the first person to do a 10-minute dance.
Could be like James Corden.
Probably.
He does like those, like dancing in the street. Anyway,
Yep.
but 10 minutes. So they've put a 10 here. This is like a giant. I'm like, sorry. Okay. So the TikTok 10. So it's 10 minutes, 10-minute video length. So obviously before they were really short videos, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 10 minutes. That's like a huge jump.
Yeah, and a lot of them are a lot less than that.
Yeah.
even.
What do you think about that?
Personally, I think it's going to change the platform.
Yeah.
It's going to change how people consume things. I know that if you think about it, a lot of things are a lot shorter,
Yeah.
which means that you're likely to see more,
Right.
like as you're scrolling and doing all that. But if you get stuck on a video, it's 9 minutes long,
You're in it.
you're not seeing as much other stuff.
Yeah.
So I think what you're going to see is breaks in those videos for advertising. Just like when you're watching YouTube and it's like you're watching something that's like, whoa, Doritos,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so you got to think that they're
Gross.
if your video is longer than a certain amount, they're probably going to split it up with ads, just like YouTube. And if you're a content producer, I think if there are more and more people making longer videos, your viewership might go down
Yeah.
because you're stuck on videos longer.
Yeah.
So it's something to keep in mind, and I think it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out with like what style of video would be longer on TikTok.
I feel like it'd be like the people that are like super into like botany or like explaining things.
So like a how-to stuff.
So like you don't have to go to part 2 anymore. So now
It's
people
true.
aren't going to be like part 2 and then never post it. And then there's like all this anger and resentment against that individual because it's like a scam, like scam drama. or
You sound
something
like you
that.
experienced this.
Potentially.
Yeah. So I think it's just going to change the dynamic of
Yeah.
like how people absorb content on TikTok.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
For sure. And then the third thing is actually going to be a referral to a different podcast. So I don't know if you've ever heard of The Journal before. Like the podcast, The Journal?
No.
So The Journal is put out by the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. From Monday, March 7th, they have an episode called Facebook's $10 billion Advertising Exodus. So it's a whole episode on the changes in advertising for Facebook and just the industry in general.
So you're saying $10 billion out of Facebook advertising?
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. It's actually crazy how big the numbers are.
That's insane.
And they have some really good examples as far as like how it's changing the industry, the projections, the stock market, all that sort of thing. But specifically, what I would like to point people towards is they have a great point of view from some people who use advertising for small businesses, how they are taking their advertising, which used to exclusively go into Facebook and Instagram, and they're adapting it to more of like a widespread social media net.
What do you mean?
So, for instance, they're including things like, instead of just Facebook and Instagram, they're taking the same budget and they're looking at the cost per acquisition and cost per click. If it's like Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, things like that. And they're spreading the same budget across multiple platforms and looking at their cost per click collectively instead of just Facebook and Instagram because of how their advertising stuff has been affected. I can't go over the entire episode now, but it's really, really good information.
I just want to listen to it right now.
You should. It's a little longer.
That's fine.
A little longer than this little update. But I would suggest looking at The Journal from Monday, March 7th, Facebook's $10 billion advertising exodus. Check it out.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining the net today. Be on the lookout for in real life events coming up. Thanks, Ollie, for always gracing us with your presence.
I do what I can.
Sharing your wisdom.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Subscribe to the net. Follow along on all of our social channels.
Yeah.
And smash that like button. That's what they say.
Smash it.
Smash it. And thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And
we'll see you on the flip side.